As Jesus taught in the synagogue of Capernaum with authority unlike anything the people had ever heard, the unseen world could no longer remain silent. A man possessed by an unclean spirit suddenly cried out, exposing the darkness that had long hidden behind religious walls. The spirit trembled at the presence of Christ, saying, "Let us alone. What have we to do with thee, thou Jesus of Nazareth? Art thou come to destroy us? I know thee who thou art, the Holy One of God." Long before the crowds understood who stood before them, hell already knew. The demon saw not a teacher, not a rabbi, but the Holy One who carried the authority to destroy its works. Jesus answered not with debate or display, but with sovereign command, "Hold thy peace and come out of him." At his word, the unclean spirit convulsed the man, cried with a loud voice, and obeyed. The entire synagogue was shaken. They asked one another, "What thing is this? What new doctrine is this? For with authority commandeth he even the unclean spirits, and they do obey him." And from that moment his fame spread through Galilee. These verses raise an important question often discussed among believers. Why does Mark record this deliverance as the first miracle in Jesus' ministry, while John presents the turning of water into wine at Cana as the beginning of miracles? The answer rests not in contradiction, but in perspective. John writes with the clear intention of showing the signs that reveal Jesus' glory, and the miracle at Cana is the first public sign he chooses to highlight. Mark, however, writes with urgency, focusing on the authority of Christ in action, authority over demons, disease, storms, and sin. Mark begins his record at the start of Jesus' ministry after the wilderness testing and the calling of his disciples in Galilee. In that setting, this moment in the synagogue is the first miracle he places before us because it perfectly displays the theme of his gospel, Jesus acting with power. What appears different is simply two writers standing at different vantage points, each led by the Spirit to reveal the same Christ through a different lens. And in Mark's lens, the first thing we must see is a king whose word makes darkness flee.